Hello and welcome to ES Repair. I am your host, Mr. Fix-It. Today I'm going to show you how to replace a battery in the computer. Yeah, there's many people who didn't know that their computer actually does have a battery in it. It's about the size of a watch battery. It uses what's called a CR2032. It's a lithium battery. They can last up between 3 to 5 years, and then they'll have to be changed. One of the symptoms to know if your battery is going bad is if you're constantly having to change the date or the time frequently, or if you're having error messages when your computer boots up, going through what's called a POST, a power on self-test. These are the common symptoms to know that the battery inside the computer is going bad. I'm going to show you how to change one of these out yourself. It's rather simple. All you need a pair of needle nose pliers, Phillips screwdriver, and a precision tool. First thing you want to do is make sure that you unplug everything on your computer. Make sure you're completely grounded. You need a wrist strap to make sure that you don't conduct electricity and that you don't build up any sort of electrostatic electricity. When you take this cover off these computers, do not touch anything on that board at all. First thing I'm going to do is take the cover off. Most of these will come off on the left side of the computer. They usually only have 1 or 2 screws. Some have thumb screws, so you can just quickly loosen the case up and take the cover off. This one here has a latch on it. All I have to do is just push down on it and it releases my cover. This is the inside of the computer that I've been describing before, and if you look closely, this right down here is the battery. Not many people knew that this computer had batteries in it. The purpose of this battery is to control this little chip down here in the bottom. It's also CMOS, known as RTC, which is a real-time clock. This is where all the information from your hardware to the hard drives, any kind of hardware setting that the computer relies on when you boot up, is stored in this chip. This battery is what keeps your clock alive, keeps this thing functioning, which uses like non-volatile memory to store settings, and it stores BIOS. Now do not confuse BIOS with the non-volatile RAM. The BIOS is pretty much a software. It's an interface to the user to set up the different types of settings. The non-volatile RAM is kept alive with this battery. It's a little trickle. This will keep the information alive. If this battery gets too low, then it can cause problems. Anything from error messages to changing the day all the time all the time, things like that. What you'll do is any store that sells batteries, you can get these 2032s, CR2032. These are pretty simple to change. All you have to do is use a pair of precision tools. Any kind of hardware store or computer store sell these things. There's just like Phillips screwdrivers and flat screwdrivers, except they're much smaller, and they're used for these types of things. As I said earlier, be sure you don't touch anything in this computer. Don't touch nothing on the board. All you want to do is change that battery right there. And they cost maybe anywhere no more than maybe $5. Get your replacement. Get your wrist strap if you have one. If you don't, just be sure that you're completely grounded and that you cannot conduct electricity whatsoever. And that's all you got to have for this protection. Or you can just touch anything that's metal, and that'll help discharge any kind of static electricity you may have built up. First thing you want to do is, if you notice down here, you see there's a little latch. This latch is to keep the battery in place. All you have to do is push down the latch and the battery will come free. And there you have the old battery. As you can see, to make sure you got the right battery, they will tell you what they're called. CR2032. They are lithium batteries. These will last the longest. They will last anywhere between 3 to 5 years. Okay. Now, once the battery's out, you grab your new one. You want to make sure that it says the same thing, CR2032, and that it's a lithium battery because they'll last a lot longer. They'll last between 3 to 5 years. All you got to do now is take your new battery, gently insert it into the socket, careful not to touch anything else, and slightly push it down. Don't use a lot of force. You want to make sure that your polarity, the positive, stays up. Make sure the positive sign faces you. Because if you put these in correctly, you can and will damage the board. Therefore, you're having to spend more money to get the board replaced. Note the polarity before you take it out. Put your new battery back in the same way it came back out. Push it in gently. Don't use a lot of force. And the clamp will automatically go back into place. And therefore, your battery has been replaced. After you replace your battery, you'll need to find this little jumper. It's usually labeled CMOS, or it'll say reset or normal. It's usually closed somewhere near the battery, or it's near this little tiny chip. What you have to do is pull it, change the location to the other two pins. I can get it on there. Just like that. This will reset this BIOS, or the non-volatile RAM, back to the factory default. You do this because when you're changing that battery in, there's a good chance that the voltage will come and go constantly, which can screw the BIOS up, or the settings. So you want to make sure that you reset it and let it go back to default. Then all you have to do is take the thing back off, put it back in its normal position, and then it'll reset. And all you have to do next is put your computer back together. Just like that. Put your screw back in. And you're all done. Hook your computer back up. Start your computer up. What happens next is some newer computers, the BIOS will automatically set itself, because it'll automatically detect all the settings previously, because some motherboards have a trickle enough, long enough that you can change the batteries and you won't have to reset it. Other times the BIOS will automatically set itself. Just turn it on. You'll see some maybe error messages. Ignore it and it'll reset. You may have to go into BIOS and save the new settings before the computer will boot back up. Once you do all that, your computer is ready to go for the next 3 to 5 years.